Well, looks like the creatards at Blumhouse Productions have bungled yet another reboot, this time the defanging and castrating of a pretty great Danish horror film with all the deft subtlety of an orangutan jacking itself off with oven mitts in James Watkins' Speak No Evil. So it's been a whole 2 years since Christian Taftrop's Speak No Evil shocked the shit out of audiences, so naturally the entire film-going public was itching for a Blumhouse reboot. Now let's not kid ourselves. The only reason for this neutered remake is because no one believes the North American audience wants to watch unknown Danish actors named Morten and Sidsel. But why the fuck did they have to make major plot changes, like specifically to the final act? Just couldn't leave well enough alone, eh, Blumhouse? Taftrop's 2022 film's thesis could be summed up as thus: the road to hell is most definitely paved with good manners. And that idea, though not nearly as nuanced, is certainly in this film, as an American family meets a UK doctor and his family while vacationing in Greece or some such place, and then months later the Americans are invited to visit the Brits for a weekend at their farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. Now, you know the place. It's where cell phone reception is conveniently non-existent, much to the convenience of the lazy plot. And here's where the proverbial screws begin to tighten, as this gregarious Dr. Patty, played with malicious glee by James McAvoy, in the kind of dangerous psycho role he's particularly adept at, begins to make his American guests feel increasingly uncomfortable. Now, you've heard of the guests from hell? Well, these are the hosts from that particular region. And despite a few misfires, this production mostly gets that part right, with great performances by McAvoy and Scoot McNairy as the beta American husband who is both drawn to Alpha Dog Patty and existentially threatened by him. So the uncomfortable moments pile up. Upon arrival, Patty insists that the American wife, here played by Mackenzie Davis, eat a chunk of goose meat he just cooked, despite the stated fact she's a vegan. And yes, she goes ahead and eats it. Or the Americans get invited out to dinner at a local favorite restaurant of Patty's, where he promptly stiffs them with the bill. And if that doesn't send up a red flag, how about Mackenzie Davis finding her sleeping preteen daughter in bed with the naked Brits? So I think you get the picture, right? In the name of going along to get along, how long will the Americans keep tolerating this shit before they give in to their internal alarms that are no doubt screaming off the hook and getting the hell out of Dodge? It's an interesting premise and kind of universal. It's the woman late at night getting into a parking elevator with a lone creepy-looking dude because she doesn't want to look judgmental or racist. Or me having a lovely conversation with the Uber driver who farted about 2 kilometers back and not daring to crack the windows or react, despite choking on curried shit particles in my nose and throat that not 5 minutes earlier were in his asshole. Now, the original film stayed true to this premise, right to its shocking gut punch of an ending. And of course, Blumhouse stuck this landing like I knew they would. And so instead, we get a formulaic, paint-by-numbers Hollywood third act that all but forgets the film's central premise as it clumsily lurches to an all-too-predictable, crowd-pleasing ending. Fuck Blumhouse. Look, if you can handle the subtitles, you'd be much better off watching the Danish original. But otherwise, I suppose there's still enough positives here to give this an acid test rating of mediocre shit. That is all.